While I am not opposed to the talk of end time events, because I'm with you, I believe what God says, and He says that there is a special blessing on those who read, those who hear, and those that keep those things that are written therein. Why? Because the time is at hand. However, before we can talk about the end, we need to rewind and go to the beginning. What was the state of heaven before we were even created? In fact, the state of heaven was peace. And you see that mentioned by Paul. Paul says we need to strive to enter into that rest. The state of heaven, that word in the original language was sabbatismos, perfect peace. So in a state of perfect peace, Lucifer rebelled. Thou art the anointed cherub that covereth, and I have set thee so. Thou wast upon the holy mountain of God. Thou hast walked up and down the midst of the stones of fire. Stones. Stones. Commandments? Thou wast perfect in thy ways until the day that thou was created, till iniquity was found in thee. So the Bible indicates that Satan, one of his jobs in heaven was he was anointed covering cherub. Now, what is an anointed covering cherub? In fact, to find the answer, we need to go to the Old Testament. Moses was given the pattern to build the tabernacle / sanctuary in the wilderness. And it was the example and shadow of heavenly things, as Moses was admonished of God when he was about to make the tabernacle. For see, saith he, that thou makest all things according to the pattern showed to thee in the mount. Now this is what you would have seen during the time of Moses in the wilderness. But for the brevity of time, we are going to go straight into the compartment that is called the Holy of Holies. And thou shalt make a mercy seat of pure gold, and thou shalt make 2 cherubims of gold of beaten work shalt thou make them, in the 2 ends of the mercy seat. And the cherubim shall stretch forth their wings on high, covering the mercy seat with their wings. You see here the Ark of the Covenant, the mercy seat on top of the Ark of the Covenant. What was in the Ark of the Covenant? In fact, not only was it the 10 Commandments, the stones of fire, but the rod that budded and the pot of manna. But what else do you see there? 2 covering cherubims. In fact, God said that Satan, before iniquity was found in him, was a covering cherub. Now, if you're like me, you probably wondered why God cast Satan out of heaven and didn't immediately judge him. And for that answer, we're going to go back to the Old Testament to see a concept that God gave to Moses. If a false witness rise up against any man to testify against him that which is wrong, then both the men between whom the controversy is shall stand before the Lord, before the priest and the judges, which shall be in those days. And the judges shall make diligent inquisition. Basically, the Lord says that there must be 3 parties. And in heaven, how many parties were there? There were only 2. You see Satan and his angels, and you see Christ and his angels. We are that third party. Before kings. And who were the kings? And I submit to you, we are. In fact, what does the Bible say? Do you know not that you shall judge angels? But in order to judge angels and be a part of the jury, there are certain criteria you must meet. And you see there, what's that number 2? You must be a law-abiding citizen. So it should be no surprise to anybody who is alive during this time that Satan, when he was in heaven, iniquity was found in him. And he is here walking this earth convincing Christendom that the laws are no longer binding and or they can be changed. I can tell you that Satan is working through deception, through popular pastors. Get into your word, and the God of heaven will reveal truth to the heart who is open to receive it.